Guys, so today we are going to do our writing lesson for noticing where my sentences end. And here I already provided a little anchor chart that we will make when I come back, but let's just reread some of these rules, okay? When you are reading your work today, and this is going to be from the story of a time that you were happy. So let's go ahead and let's review these steps, and then I will model it for you with my writing. Okay. Number 1, I reread my writing. So always make sure that you are reading every single word that you write. Number 2, I notice where I stop and take a breath. Sometimes when you are writing, and Miss Hughes does it all the time as well, but sometimes when we write, we get so excited about what we want to say that we forget our punctuation. And remember, when we learned in revising and editing the first week, we learned a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation. Wow. So let's make sure that as we reread our work, that we are noticing to see where we take a breath. And usually where you take your breath, that's going to be where you have your punctuation. Number 3, I put my finger on the page where I stop. So for me, remember, I really want y'all to focus on details, and I also want you guys to skip a line or two when you are writing your story so that you have space to fix it. So if you look at mine, I'm going to stop at this first page right here where it says fell. And I'm going to put my finger where I stopped, because if I don't, then I'm going to forget where I was. Number 4, I reread the string of words to see if it makes sense. I want you to notice most of these rules keep saying to reread. Jocelyn was doing such a great job the other day when she was touching every single word that she was reading, and then she went back and she read it one more time. Okay, it's important to reread your work because sometimes maybe you missed something that you didn't know you missed, and you can catch it at that point. Number 5, if it does, I add end punctuation where I stop. So if it does make sense, add the end punctuation where you're stopping. If there's already punctuation there, that's beautiful. Let's keep that up, okay? And then if it doesn't, then you're going to rewrite or reread it until you find something that makes sense. So let me go ahead and let me show you what I mean, okay? So let's look at the story. When Nathan asked me to marry him. So first of all, let me show you something. Before I wrote this, remember I had my picture at the beginning and then middle. And over here I had my writing. And on this side, where I have my B, sorry, there it goes. So here was all my writing, and then here's my picture. So we were at the mountain. And there's the lake. And there's Miss Hughes. And there's Nathan. And there's our pretty kite. Now remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as I understand what my picture is about, and as long as I'm labeling. So here's me. Here's Nathan. Okay, now let's see. Now let's see if our story makes sense. Okay. 6 years ago, Nathan took me to fly a kite in Estes Park, Colorado. I need a comma right here. See, I'm already catching some mistakes. It was such a pretty day. There was a clear sky. Wait. It was such a pretty day. Period. There was a clear sky. It was sunny, and you could hear the water, and you could see birds flying around, and I was so excited. Let me reread that one more time. There was a clear sky, it was sunny, and you could hear the water, and you could see the birds flying around, and I was so excited. Whew, I'm running out of breath, so I have to make sure and see where can I change this. So there's a clear sky, it was sunny, and you could hear the water. That's a good place to stop. So I'm going to change this to a period. And then I'm going to cross off and, because I noticed I used and too many times. So you could see birds flying around. Let me take off that other and. I was so excited, and change this to an exclamation mark, because if I just say I was so excited, it doesn't really sound like I'm excited. But if I put I was so excited with an exclamation mark, then you can tell how excited I was. All right. First, we started flying the kite. Then all of a sudden, the kite fell down, and I couldn't believe it fell down. And it was so, okay, I'm noticing that I'm forgetting my punctuation. So let me go back and reread it and slow down. And it says, I put my finger on the page where I stop. Not there yet, right? I notice where I stop and take a breath. Yes, rule number 2. Notice where you stop and take a breath. And then go to rule number 5 and 4. If it doesn't make sense, I'm going to change it. If it makes sense, then that's where I'm adding my punctuation. So let's see. First, we started flying the kite. Think period. And then make this a capital T. Then, all of a sudden, the kite fell down. I'm going to take off that and. Too many N's. Exclamation mark. I couldn't believe it fell down. Down is not spelled like that's misuse. Silly goose. Down. And I was so sad that it fell. I think that makes a lot of sense. So today when you are looking at your writing for a moment that makes you happy, remember this is a moment that was happy for misuse. Okay? Today when you are doing your writing, I want you to finish first of all your story. And then after you're done with your story, guys, I want you to go back and reread your story and see if there's anything that you need to change. Okay? I really want you to focus on where your sentences end and put your punctuation there. Remember, for your punctuation, you have 3 main punctuations that I want you to focus on. Okay? One of them is going to be the period. The other one is an exclamation mark. The last one is a question mark. Okay? This is if you want to say something. The period is if you want to say something. The exclamation mark is to show your feelings. And the question mark is to ask a question. Ask. Okay, guys. Happy writing, and I can't wait to read your stories. Bye.